Good afternoon, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the studios of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 12th day of December in the year 2024. There is an important reason for me to be joining you today, and this is a situation that is getting out of hand and I think needs to be addressed right now, and kind of in a frank as manner as possible with the residents of the town of Kearny, and especially with people who use the platform of Facebook. The person who you see on the screen right now is 11-year-old Tamryn Davis. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because her name has probably woken you out of a deep sleep at midnight a couple of weeks ago. It probably rang your phone after 12 this afternoon and several times before that as well. And that is because, from what we understand, this is probably, I think, the fifth time that Tamryn Davis, the 11-year-old girl from Kearny, has gone missing. Now, I want to kind of explain something to everybody, and this is a little bit complicated, so I think everybody needs to kind of pay close attention to this. Tamryn is a young girl who moved to Kearny not so long ago. When she moved to Kearny, she did so from the city of Newark. She used to live in Newark. And since she moved here, she has made several attempts to go back to be in Newark, to be with people who are her friends. And I guess that's something that we can't necessarily understand if we've never had to move in the middle of the year or anything of that nature. However, here's the thing that is very important for every resident of Kearny to understand. And it doesn't appear that everybody is kind of grasping this, because some of the comments that have been on Facebook today when the police announced that Tamryn went missing have been, quite frankly, gross and incorrect. The Kearny Police Department, anytime a juvenile goes missing, and in this case, Tamryn, as I mentioned, is 11 years old, has to dedicate every available resource to locating her. So that means that every state, local, and county agency that is at the disposal of the Kearny Police Department has to be put into gear to go to find her. There have been comments that were made on the Facebook pages of the police department and other pages today that were indicative of the police not doing enough to find this girl. When the truth of the matter is, and the reality is, that not only has the Kearny Police Department done everything within their power to find her, and they have every single time she has left home and gone over to Newark, they have had to involve other agencies that you and I don't see, because it happens behind the scenes when they're going out to try to find her for one of her most recent escapades. Now, we spoke with the police about this, and Lisa and I here at the Observer's office have had discussions about this. Well, like, why don't they just put her in a jail cell when they get her the next time and try to scare the pants off of her? The reality is, we're dealing here with a young girl who is 11 years of age, who is not afraid to leave Kearny and go to Newark multiple times, knowing very well she has had to interact with the police every time she's done this, and has had to deal with the consequences of her parents at home. And so it is very unfair when people go out and say that the police isn't doing enough to help this girl. The police are doing more than they should in a case like this, because, not only are they pretty certain she's going to be there again, she has been all the other times she's gone missing. And again, it's probably happened at least 5 times. I may be wrong. It may even be 6 that she's done this. And it started months ago, and it keeps happening over and over and over. And you will notice that we did not even post this today, because it has gotten to the point where it's Tamryn Davis is missing again. So why put it out there and cause a panic? Unfortunately, today, when the Kearny Police Department made the alert, and they have to make the alert, I want that to be clear. They must do the phone call, the reverse 911 phone call that also sends out emails and text message. They have to do their due diligence to find her. They will find her in all probability, and it's going to be in the city of Newark. But where the issue comes with all of this is that people don't know all that goes into finding a girl who's missing or child who's missing. And for anybody to go out there and to say that the Kearny Police Department, or any for that matter police agency, in trying to locate a young person who has gone missing is not doing its job is disingenuous and absolutely, completely incorrect. And I have had a chance to speak with some of the members of the police department who have been involved in this case, and they have worked their butts off to try to find her. They've worked their butts off to try to get to a solution that will help fix this situation, that it won't keep happening. But no matter what they do, no matter what they try, she still leaves and tries to take off every single time. And it is extremely important to realize that this is a child who has probably got some issues and that they need to be addressed. But as far as the work goes that the police department does, everything they've done has been by the book. Everything they have done has been prescribed by law. And I think not only is it unfair to say that they haven't done their job, I think it would be reasonable to say they have gone above and beyond what they need to do in a case like this. Is it worrisome? You bet your ass it is. Because here's what's going to happen one time. When she goes and she decides to go over to Newark because she's not afraid to go to Newark, maybe there'll be a time where, the pace is a little bit slower. Or maybe when she goes over there, she's going to wind up in a white truck being taken away for whatever the reason. So the syndrome, which one of the officers that I spoke with today said, it's the boy who cries wolf. And every time it happens, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So that's where we are, folks. But please, I want you to realize something. This is extremely important to realize. The Kearny Police Department is doing a lot to try to get her home every single time she can. Every single time they can. And it's very unfair to even say otherwise. It really, really is. She could be a very listen, an 11-year-old kid could be a target of any kind of creep, any kind of criminal. Doesn't have to be a pedophile. It could be a sex trafficking organizer. It could be a regular thief. It could be anybody. So yes, there are reasons for this to be concerning. But one of the things that is absolute constant throughout all of this is that the Kearny Police Department has done their due diligence, and they've gone way above and beyond what they're supposed to do in a case like this. And I was reading these comments today and realized that I had no other choice but to do a live commentary today on this because it's unfair for anybody to accuse them of not doing what they're supposed to do. Scott McPhee and his police officers always do the right thing when it comes to missing children and when it comes to everything else that they do. And don't say otherwise, because if you do, you're a fool. That's the bottom line. All right, everybody, let's hope we can bring her home today. Again, it's happened every other time, so the chances are that Tamryn is going to get home, but let's just try to make sure that people realize that much more goes on behind the scenes than you see from a single Facebook post. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.